Hey Padres fans, it's time for a brand new episode of Padres POV, the football edition. That's right, we join the Padres players for a special fantasy football draft where they take on some of your Friar faithful. Plus, we sit down with the Padres fantasy football king himself, Austin Hedges. And the Padres share which teammate they would pick if they ever formed their own football team. We have all that and more right now on this brand new episode of Padres POV. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Padres POV. I'm Lisa Lane. Football season is officially here, and I'm not the only one excited. Your Friars are as well, especially when it comes to fantasy football. I had a chance to join a few of the players for an exclusive Big League Impact fantasy football draft hosted at Petco Park, benefiting Austin Hedges' charity of choice, Wells of Life. Take a look.
Big League Impact, this is our 5th year doing our fantasy football events. This is our first year here in San Diego. Austin Hedges took on the event this year for his charity, which is Wells of Life, which is a charity to build wells in Uganda for people there to have clean drinking water.
First of all, I just want to thank all you guys for being out here. Obviously fantasy football is fun, but making a difference in the world, I think, is what we're really here for. And I just want to thank my teammates especially too. It means the world to me that you guys are here. We're on the clock. Let's get it rolling. Come on!
What'd you just say? All right, Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell? First pick's made, and my desk is pretty sloppy right now. David Johnson.
David Johnson.
I don't know how it felt to me, but I'll take it. He's always a top 5 guy.
Yeah.
I'll go Kamara. Kamara.
I'm picking Melvin Gordon.
I'm going to go with Monte Adams and Michael Thomas.
What do you think of Austin's strategy here with the back-to-back receivers at the top of the draft?
I think he's panicking a little bit in his draft. I think he did the old study long, study wrong, and now that draft time comes, he's getting a little nervous, and I think those are panic picks. I can sense that.
What was with the wide receiver strategy, 2 picks off the top?
Rather than picking a decent running back, I might as well go for 2 studs. I like Devontae Adams this year. I think he's got a big year with Aaron Rodgers. And then I went Michael Thomas, and I also got Drew Brees. So I like going QB with my receiver, double the points. I don't love my team, but I know it's better than everybody else's, so that's all that matters.
Let's go Tyreek Hill. He's
way
actually
down there.
5 spots above Christian McCaffrey.
All right.
I think Will's really locked in right now. He's got an interesting strategy. He's got running back out the gates in a PPR league. It's pretty solid. I like the Cooks and the Crabtree late, so I like his depth.
Okay, so I know you guys get competitive in both this league and the Padres league. Have you won it all yet?
I have not won it all in any league, so hopefully this is my first one right here. I want to play in the Super Bowl.
Gronk.
Will, you pissed? You were taking him.
No, I'm taking T.Y. T.Y. next.
I wanted to get depth, a lot of wide receivers, a lot of running backs, PPR league, so I've been waiting for the quarterback for a lot of rounds now, so it's about time to snag one of those up pretty soon.
My strategy was to pick as many running backs and wide receivers as possible before I picked much else.
All right, did you get your quarterback? Who is that?
I picked Cam Newton. Usually, once the first couple really good quarterbacks go, I try to stay away from quarterback, but it's getting to the point where there weren't very many left, so I snagged a guy that scores a lot of touchdowns with his legs and arms.
I'm going to take Kenyon Drake and Larry Fitzgerald.
I like that pick there. I just
Huh?
fit.
You going to take him?
Yeah. I thought he was going to get to me, too.
Do you like to come out and support your teammate in this way?
Yeah, exactly. We're killing 2 birds with 1 stone, supporting Austin and his endeavors, giving back, and then as a part of it, we're also giving back too, being here, being a part of this league, and then helping raise money so that we can put some wells in Uganda, which is a pretty neat feather to put in your cap, that you've at least, did your part to help a little bit of the world.
Anytime we can bring the community together and play some fantasy football and also make an impact in the world, this is probably the coolest thing ever.
As you can tell, Austin Hedges gets really into fantasy football. So we sat down with the catcher to get some insight into how he drafts and who he hopes to beat from the Padres squad. So Austin, I heard that you are like the fantasy football guru. How many years have you been really involved in fantasy football?
I've been playing for a handful of years, but I've been in the Padres league for the last 3 years, and I can very confidently say I'm the best fantasy football player in the clubhouse. But this year, my teammate is Corey Spangenberg, so Spangy and I have been doing all of our preparations, all of our research, so coming in strong this year.
So do you guys do a big draft party where you all sit down together, and how much fun is that to do something outside of baseball?
It's the best day of the year. Draft day is the best day. We rent out kind of like a sports bar somewhere on one of our off days in some city, I think maybe in Cincinnati this year. Everybody goes, whether they're playing or not, food, drinks, and in fantasy football, it's a great day.
And so for you, are you the guy that goes with the best player on the board? You go by positions first? What are you normally going with for your first pick?
First pick, best available probably, but the rest is I have a strategy. I can't give away my secrets.
Okay, I love how you're still withholding information. You don't want it to get out. So who normally comes in last in this league?
I'm strongly anticipating Will Myers to get last place this year. Not the best fantasy football player. He's good at everything else, but that's his one weakness.
It seems like you enjoy that.
Oh, very much so, very much.
And have you always been a big football fan?
Yeah, always a big football fan. It was too bad being in Orange County growing up that we didn't really have a football team. There wasn't a team in LA. We had the Chargers a little bit, but it was still a little bit far away. So since I've moved here, obviously, we miss having the Chargers, but I just like fantasy. I just like, it's more fun to root for the players.
All right, so we're saying it here right now. You and Spangy are winning it all.
It's happening, I promise.
Well, coming up, we have more fun with Hedges, Hosmer, Stammen, and Myers at the Big League Impact Fantasy Draft.
I'm going Matthew Stafford. Yeah, that's a nice pick there.
Plus, we go inside the clubhouse to talk pigskin with your Padres.
Played mostly quarterback growing up, quarterback, wide receiver.
But first, it's time for your Friar Fun Fact. Your Padres have drafted many multi-sport athletes during their time as a franchise, but maybe one of the most memorable draft picks is none other than Texas A&M star Johnny Manziel. Although the only action Manziel has seen at Petco Park was throwing out a first pitch before a big league ball game.
I'm a Arizona Cardinals fan, so I root for them.
As far as NFL goes, Carolina Panthers are my team.
I'm more just kind of a fan of the game, just like watching it.
For a team, I'd be lying if I said I was an Eagles fan. I wish I was, but like I said, I can't jump on that bandwagon now. Watch them a lot, but really don't have a favorite team.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our special football edition of Padres POV. We here at Fox Sports love football season just as much as we love baseball season, and it seems as if your Padres do as well. We went into the clubhouse to find out the football side to your Friars.
I have to play on my football team.
That'll be tough.
All right. I don't know. I'm sure there's a ton of former quarterbacks in here.
I put Haas at tight end. Hunter's got a good arm. Hunter quarterback. Spangy slot receiver. Galvey running back. We need some linemen, so maybe Fran Meal, Castillo, some of the bullpen guys on the line, and probably maybe Kirby. Kirby could be center.
Brad would be a pretty good wide receiver. He's fast, tall, skinny, he can jump. He'd probably be a pretty good pick for the wide receiver. Then Clayton's a pretty good quarterback himself.
Clayton Richard. I mean, he's very, very obvious. He actually has done it at a higher level than all of us have even attempted. So, yeah, not to mention just his work ethic to this day. I still think he probably could run out there for a little bit. So, yeah, definitely Clayton.
Clayton, I guess, but that'd be the obvious pick. I'll go with Fran Meal.
I hear Craig Stammen was a pretty good player, multi-sport athlete, so I think he's a safe bet there.
I grew up playing football from the time I was 7 years old. Mostly quarterback growing up, quarterback, wide receiver, and love playing defense, love hitting people, but mostly I love quarterback, love being able to score.
Played a couple years in high school, played wide receiver back then, believe it or not. Before my first back injury, I used to be a lot thinner, could run a little bit.
I played in middle school, receiver. I was at that time of my physical development, I was one hit away from being broken, so I got out of there quick.
So from the time I was in 3rd grade, I played up until throughout high school. Started off as a quarterback, didn't throw the ball much, was more of a bootleg guy, kind of fake handoff, run around the end and just outrun guys. Then in high school, I was way too undersized, so quarterback wasn't the job for me. I went to receiver and played receiver for 4 years in high school, and then was thinking about going to play in college, but again, the size factored in, and decided to stick with baseball.
I'm sure these guys would be just as good on the gridiron as they are on the diamond. Well, there's still a lot more to come on this special football edition of Padres POV. I hang out with your Friars at the first ever fantasy football draft held at Petco Park and intercept all the trash talk.
That's a nice pick by me.
Shots fired. I love it.
Back at you.
Plus, we have your Padres Plays of the Week.
Francisco Mejia hits a 3-run home run, his 2nd home run of the night in his first start in a Padres uniform.
But first, let's test your knowledge with some Padres POV trivia. We all know many of the Padres were multi-sport athletes growing up, but which Padre in particular actually played quarterback for the University of Michigan? Is it A, Will Myers, B, Eric Hosmer, or is it C, Clayton Richard? Find out next on Padres POV.
I like Odell. I like Carson Wentz. I'm not trying to be a front runner there, but Carson seems like a good guy I could hang out with off the field. So
Cam Newton's my guy. I've been rolling with him since he was at Auburn, so that's my guy.
Welcome back to Padres POV. Before the break, we asked you, which Padre played quarterback for the University of Michigan? If you answered C, you are correct. In 2004, Richard played quarterback at the University of Michigan, backing up the well-known NFL quarterback, Chad Henne. Richard played a total of 4 games, going 8 for 15 with a total of 52 yards. San Diego sports fans, if you haven't already, be sure to check out Fox Sports San Diego's original show, Inside San Diego Sports. You can catch Inside San Diego Sports every Tuesday, and in case you miss it, be sure to head on over to foxsportssandiego.com to keep up with all the latest videos and articles on your favorite San Diego teams and players. All right, Padres fans, it's time for the best of the best with your Padres Plays of the Week.
Welcome to Padres Baseball. It's a high fly ball to straightaway center field. Blackman back at the wall. That ball's gone. Renfroe jolts this to deep straightaway center field again. Blackman back, and that ball's gone. Home run again for Hunter Renfroe. 2nd of the night. Padres back within a run. Reyes to right center field. Struck pretty well. Back towards the wall, and that ball is going to be gone. A home run. Franmil Reyes with a 3-run shot. Back towards the wall, and that ball is gone. A home run for Reyes, his 2nd of the night. Have a night, Franmil Reyes. Drives one towards deep left center field. Back goes Urban towards the track and the wall. That ball's gone. Francisco Mejia in his first start, first plate appearance, homers to left center field.
Good things come in small packages.
Francisco Mejia hits a 3-run home run. His 2nd home run of the night in his first start in a Padres uniform.
Down and in, drop the head, see you later.
You gotta be kidding me. Outstanding. Welcome to San Diego. Some of the young guns get it going.
Stay tuned, there's still a lot more to come on Padres POV. We wrap up the fantasy draft hosted by Austin Hedges for a good cause.
For us, it's easy. We come, get to do something we love, play some fantasy football, and interact with some different people. And, of course, anything Hedges doing, our teammate, we're going to support to the fullest.
Plus, we catch up with the guys from the Zero Chance podcast to chat Friars and football.
If the Padres players,
yes, I'm listening,
were football players, how would they go in the draft?
Don't go anywhere. You're watching Padres POV.
Todd Gurley, I think. Or Le'Veon Bell. It's kind of a coin flip. You're going to get a lot of production out of those guys, but they're beasts.
It'd be hard for me not to take David Johnson being a Cardinals fan, but I think Gurley should probably go number 1.
I've auto-drafted, believe it or not. I like to think that it's the moves you make after the draft that are the big deal, so I just kind of let fate decide that part.
You got to go Le'Veon Bell. I think Le'Veon's probably one of the best running backs and overall athletes in the NFL.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Padres POV. I'm Lisa Lane. Last week I talked culture with the guys from the Zero Chance podcast, but I knew I couldn't leave without talking football with these sports fanatics. So I have to tell you one cool thing I got to do this morning that it's right up my alley. Fantasy football drafts.
Oh, love it.
Stam in there, Will Myers, Hedges.
You're in a fantasy football draft with all the Padres?
So any fan could have been. Be honest here, if you guys were in the room this morning up against those players, you know how competitive Will Myers is. Austin Hedges thinks he's fantasy football king. Stammen was a little quiet in the corner.
Austin doesn't know anything about anything. I destroy him in fantasy football.
And then Hosmer, do you guys think you'd beat those guys?
Every one of them. I'd cry. I'd mop up the floor with all the Padres players. These guys are too busy being professional athletes. I'm too busy being awesome in fantasy football. So there's zero chance that they could take me.
Do you guys ever compete against each other? Because I could see that getting pretty crazy.
Wow, we have yet to. I think we could start a little like Miralani Makers / Zero Chance podcast league. Maybe we can invite all those players you just named, and we could teach them a lesson in humility.
Ooh,
that'd be great.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, we could.
It'd be good.
Yeah.
Bill plays some fantasy too.
I'm in 17 leagues right now, but I'm in on this one too.
I'm only in 3 fantasy football leagues, so I have plenty of capacity.
Yeah.
And clearly plenty of capacity to talk smack.
So if the Padres players
yes, I'm listening.
were football players, how would they go in the draft?
Hunter Renfrow, number 1.
As what position, though?
You name it. You pick a position, he's in
back.
it. No, he wouldn't
like
be running back. So
he seems
athletically
like-
speaking, who do you think are the most talented Padres? It's a good question. I know Will sort of plays, and he makes it like it's so effortless that it almost looks like he's lazy out there.
Yeah.
But I actually think he's a very good athlete.
That little sidearm at
smooth.
third base.
That's the word.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah,
he would be a good tight end.
Yeah, like when you're
he's
smooth.
lengthy.
Tight
Why would you look at me like that and say it in that
I
tone,
say
Lisa?
Hunter Renfrow tight end.
Yeah, Hunter Renfrow tight end.
Hunter Renfrow could play almost anywhere other than running back. He's too tall.
Yeah,
Who's the kicker?
The kicker
Oh my
is Brian Mitchell, for sure. I don't know any other.
Where would Hedges fit in for you guys?
Ooh.
Hedges,
Flex player.
Cheerleader.
Gosh, long snapper.
Long.
Hunter. Lisa, we appreciate Padres POV. Thank you for having the Zero Chance podcast. Lisa,
It's always fun with you guys.
always a pleasure and an honor to be included in Padres POVs. Thanks for joining us, guys. That's all for this week. Peace.
Goodbye.
All right, now it's time to wrap things up back at Petco Park, where your Padres take on some of the Friar faithful in the ultimate fantasy football draft. Take a look. So here we are at the Big League Impact Fantasy Draft. Is it fun for you guys to do something like this off the field that clearly you're all passionate about with fantasy football?
No, we're having a great time here. Everybody's getting along well, talking some trash. It's been a lot of fun so far. So we're looking for the second half of the draft here.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun to interact with some of the fans out here and talk trash to Hedgie and Will. And then I think after round 2, we were pretty comfortable with talking trash to some of these new guys around here.
We've got a bad pick coming.
You're that guy, taking the quarterback.
And for you, Hedges, this has to be perfect to be able to do charity and fantasy football together because we know how passionate you are about both.
Yeah, I mean, they're 2 of my favorite things in the world, obviously. I think, be able to bring everybody together, especially my teammates too, to be able to come here and play fantasy football, and also, the money that's going to this league is going to make a big league impact, like the league says. So it's been awesome so far. Everyone's having fun. I'm looking forward to winning this league as well.
So you hear that, and usually he says he likes to beat up on you, it seems, Will. So what do you think about his strategy, and does he have a shot at beating you this year?
I mean, even if I had the better team, he wouldn't admit it. But we'll let the teams decide during the season. I like my team right now. I'm going Matthew Stafford. Yeah, that's a nice pick there. That's a nice pick by me.
He loves it.
I'm gonna go Des Bryant.
What? He's not even playing.
What?
Adrian Peterson.
Whoa.
Shots fired. I love it.
That guy should.
Who we got? Who's pick?
Sorry, I got Kamara and Freeman, so they'll be fine.
And is this kind of how you guys are in the clubhouse too? You seem laid back, like you're all close friends, because we see that chemistry on the field as well.
Yeah, same way. You know, we're always giving each other a hard time, but you know, we're all pulling for each other, and that's what keeps it fun. We're with each other a lot, 8 months out of the year, and you know, we grow pretty comfortable around each other, and you know, that's how we like to keep things light and have a good time.
David Carr, Derek Carr. His brother. I want his brother. I want his brother. Who's your flex?
Brandon Cook. Crab.
Love it.
Let's go Carolina's defense.
Ooh.
That is already on the board. Double pick. First one. Thank you. Thank you. 1/6 of a well from Eric Hosmer. Put his name on that well.
Just lastly, why is it important for you guys to come out here and support Hedges and something like this?
Yeah, when you told me about the charity, I thought it was a great cause. So you know, any way I can support that, I think it's pretty cool. You know, the lives they save, just helping people there, I think it's a really cool deal.
Yeah, really cool, especially after seeing the video and how many lives it affects. So for us, it's easy. We come, get to do something we love, play some fantasy football, and interact with some different people. And you know, of course, anything Hedges doing, our teammate, we're going to support to the fullest.
All right, well, we'll see at the end of the season who really comes out on top after this draft, right?
Yeah,
Good. Yeah.
That's the only way to find out.
That's right.
You know, it's going to be great when Des Bryant goes off this year.
Well, that does it for this special football edition of Padres POV. From our Fox Sports San Diego studios, I'm Lisa Lane. Cue that rollout.
Let's do it.
We are here. We're talking football, my favorite thing to talk about.
Stop. I got one, that's all it takes. Reenie's saying that Arias has about 50 guys over there, and I got you two, but I'll take it.
As you can tell, Austin Hedges gets really into fantasy football.
Can we be done with the show, the podcast, everything?